Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really crucial for community-based organizations, CBOs. Specifically, how they can operate effectively and, importantly, ethically. And our main source for this is a training manual from the Southern Africa Litigation Centre, SALC.
That's right. And it's so vital because, CBOs are often working right there on the ground with some of the most vulnerable people.
Yeah.
And corruption, even small-scale stuff, it can just completely derail their work. It damages trust, their reputation, everything.
Exactly. So this SALC manual really provides a roadmap, doesn't it? A way for these organizations to fight back against corruption.
It does. It offers a solid framework.
So today we want to pull out the core ideas for you. We'll look at, how SALC defines corruption, the different shapes it can take in an organization.
Right.
And then really dig into the essential parts of a good, strong anti-corruption policy based on what the manual suggests.
Okay, so let's start right there. The definition. How does the Southern Africa Litigation Centre actually define corruption in this manual?
Well, they give a pretty clear definition. It's the abuse of entrusted power for personal gain or maybe an unfair advantage.
Okay, abuse of power.
Yeah, and it covers misusing resources, using your authority wrongly, or, influence, all for illicit reasons. And they make a key point. This isn't just a government problem.
No, absolutely not. It happens in private organizations, NGOs, CBOs, everywhere.
And it's interesting how many different ways this can actually show up in the day-to-day running of a CBO.
It's not always like big headline-grabbing fraud, is it? The manual gives some very practical examples.
It does. Can you walk us through some of those? What kind of things are we talking about?
Sure. Well, bribery is a common one. Offering or, taking something of value could be money, could be gifts, favors.
To influence a decision.
Exactly, for personal benefit. Then there's embezzlement. That's basically stealing funds or assets that you've been trusted with.
Right.
Fraud is another big category, using deception, like false documents or misrepresentation, to get some kind of unlawful gain. And extortion, that's using threats or force or abusing your power to demand money or favors.
You can immediately see how toxic those would be within an organization that relies on trust. What else does SALC flag?
They also highlight nepotism, favoring your family or friends in jobs or promotions without really looking at qualifications.
Unfair advantage again?
Precisely. Then there's abuse of power more generally, using your official position for personal gain or to unfairly influence things.
Okay.
The manual also mentions money laundering, trying to hide the source of illegal money. And kickbacks, those secret payments you might get for giving someone preferential treatment, maybe in, say, awarding contracts.
Procurement seems like a key risk area then.
Definitely. And related to that is patronage, giving out jobs or favors based on loyalty or connections rather than on merit. They also touch on broader illicit practices in public services that CBOs might interact with, like misuse of public funds or bribery in government procurement.
Wow, okay. That's quite a list of potential problems. It really paints a picture. So given all that, why is it so critical, according to SALC, for CBOs to actually have a formal anti-corruption policy? What's the main argument?
Well, the manual lays out several really strong reasons. Fundamentally, it's about upholding ethical standards. A policy makes it crystal clear what's expected.
Sets the tone.
Exactly. It builds that ethical culture. Plus, it's about legal compliance, showing you're committed to following anti-corruption laws, both local and international ones.
Okay, so ethics and legality. What else? What are the other big benefits SALC points to?
Reputation and trust. These are everything for a CBO, right? A scandal can destroy them.
Absolutely.
A good policy protects that reputation and builds credibility with donors, with partners, with the public. It's also about risk mitigation, identifying and managing those financial, legal, and reputational risks before they blow up.
Proactive rather than reactive.
And the manual argues it's key to good governance, generally creating a framework for transparency and accountability. And, let's be honest, donors often require this now. Having a solid policy can make or break funding opportunities.
Right. It's becoming a standard expectation. Okay, so we see why it's essential. Now, let's get into the what. What does the SALC manual say should actually be in an effective anti-corruption policy? What are the key parts?
Okay, the manual breaks it down nicely. It starts with a clear policy statement. It's basically a declaration of zero tolerance for corruption. No ambiguity.
Sets the standard right at the top.
Yep. Then definitions. Clearly defining the different forms of